Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this video took a little bit longer to come out. I was recording a live feedback video on getting the shocks replaced, and I almost drove into the side of the intersection on the highway. Come to find out, that video that you see me jumping in the truck from Wyoming last year that I do in the intro, it actually broke my steering rack. So didn't find that out. The truck was running fine. I haven't off-roaded it since Wyoming, but when I replaced the shocks, that's when I noticed, because it was sagging for a bit. I think that was the final leg of the steering rack, and I was driving on the highway after I got the shocks replaced, and like I said, I almost went into the side of the wall. So it's been about a month, right? So it's not live feedback as I hoped it would have been, but I still have some good feedback to share on. You know, the truck had about 85,000 miles on the original shocks. 85. From my research and everything that I read, depending on how much you off-road, you want to replace the shocks every 20 to 40,000 miles, right? That's a healthy range to keep rebuilding the shocks. So the truck had double that, and I had some pretty aggressive off-roading in Wyoming. So the difference has been night and day. You know, some people have the saying of like, it drives like a Cadillac, and I know some people haven't driven Cadillacs, but the biggest difference that I've noticed since replacing the shocks is that it's so smooth. Before, if you had no music on, you're driving, the road's a little bit bumpy, you would hear, it sounded like it was bottoming out, right? It was just like clunky, extremely clunky. The front right one was very, very clunky. I don't hear that at all anymore. So the ride has improved dramatically. Now, what I haven't been able to test, right, is like all the add-ons that I've gotten on the shocks with TSW. But from a driving every single day perspective, it is, outside of me upgrading my tie rods, which I know I've said a bunch of times, that was probably the most notable difference of modifications that I've done on the truck from a driver's seat perspective. Replacing the shocks and getting them rebuilt by TSW is easily just as good, if not more impactful, from a day-to-day driving. It is so much smoother. There's a little bit more bounce to it, right? Before, it was super clunky. Every single bump you could feel. Now it's driving so much smoother. So I wanted to provide an update video, and like I said, I didn't want it. I wanted it to be live, like, hey, I'm driving from installing the shocks, but my steering rack broke, so I couldn't give feedback. It was the truck was pretty much undrivable. It took me about a month to get that replaced and save up the money to replace that, because it's pretty expensive. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So wanted to provide this video on what it feels like on a day-to-day driving on the roads, rebuilding your shocks, specifically from TSW. So shout out to those guys. The next video that I'm going to come out with is off-roading. So I got a nothing like Wyoming, but a pretty fun off-roading trip here in Colorado set up. So I'm going to do that. You're going to see that video next of me off-roading. Should be a really fun time. Hopefully the weather's great. We've been getting a little bit of snow, but today's a super nice day. And then I'll do another video like this on the feedback that I have off-roading with the new shocks. But appreciate everybody swinging by. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.